welcome to this true beginner yoga class. We're going to go for about 20 minutes and you don't need any props at all, no blocks, no straps, nothing else, no pillows or blankets unless you would like them for your knees. Otherwise, if you've got a mat, go ahead and grab it and we'll get started. Once you have found your nice comfortable space, maybe with a mat, go ahead and take a seat. If it's comfortable to sit cross-legged like this in Sukhasana or easy pose, go ahead and do that. If this is very uncomfortable for you, maybe the legs come out a little ways or even come fully extended, your choice. So once you have found your comfortable seat, let the hands rest on the knees and take a few shoulder rolls up and back, up and back. And then let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Start to close the eyes. Feel the body being supported by the floor beneath you, finding some grounding. Start to take notice of your breath. When we bring our focus to the breath, we start to bring our focus into the body instead of the world around us or even the room around us. But focusing on the breath gives the mind something to occupy it. And also focusing on our breath makes sure that we are breathing throughout our practice. We'll just take a few more moments here to start becoming acquainted with focusing on the breath. And then blinking, open the eyes. Bring the hands to heart center, pressing the palms together so the arms are somewhat activated here. You're pressing the palms in. And now start to feel the spine getting long as the crown of your head reaches up towards the ceiling, getting nice and tall. And as you inhale, start to lift the arms up, palms come to press, and then bring them down to the heart center or prayer pose. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale to heart. 2 more of those. Inhale up. Exhale to heart. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Gently start to twist over to your right. Bring the left hand onto your right knee. Your right hand is just behind you, helping you to stay nice and tall, just like we did with the hands at heart center. Think of the spine getting nice and long. If it's comfortable, look over your right shoulder. If it's not, don't worry about it. You can just look towards the front. And as you inhale, come back through center, twist over to the left. Again, thinking nice and tall in the spine. And exhaling, maybe twist a little more. Inhale, twist over to the right 1 more time. As you think about being nice and tall, the chest might even lift a little bit as you exhale and twist. Obviously, if there's any pain here, then don't twist as much. Just back out of it a little bit. And inhale, come over to the left. And then come back to center. Go ahead and roll over onto your hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. So your hips are over your knees. Knees are right in line with the hips. And shoulders are over wrists. Fingers are nice and spread. And start to pull the belly button in towards your spine to help support the back. We don't want to be sagging down. Lift up, pressing into the hands. Go ahead and step your right foot back, tuck the toes, press back through the heel. Nice, easy breaths here. And then go ahead and cross the right leg over the left. Look over your left shoulder, getting a nice stretch in the side body. And then bring the right knee back in. And then send the left foot back, tuck the toes, press back through your heel. Nice stretch for the calf here. Then cross the left leg over the right. Look over your right shoulder. Nice stretch for the side body here. And if the knees are a little sensitive for doing this section of the workout, you can always grab a towel or a blanket, place under the knees. Bring the left knee back in. And as you inhale, let the belly descend for cow pose. And as you exhale, press into the hands for cat, just like a cat on Halloween. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round for cat. This movement can be as big or as small as feels right for you, depending on your mobility of your spine. So don't worry if it's less than what I'm doing or if it's more. This is your practice, your body. And then coming to a nice neutral spine, feel that belly button pulling in. Hips are over knees as you walk your hands forward, coming to puppy pose. So the forehead can rest on the mat here. Arms are nice and active. Reaching the fingers forward. At the same time that the fingers reach forward, imagine you're pulling your mat back towards you and feel the shoulder blades get a little more space. And then walk yourself back up to tabletop. We're going to come into downward facing dog. If this turns out to be a little too much for your wrists, come back to puppy pose because you're still getting the same shoulder stretch and building even a little bit of strength in the arms there. If you'd like to give downward dog a try, tuck your toes and slowly start to lift the hips. Keep the knees nice and bent. So the knees are nice and bent. We're working on strength in the wrists and in the arms here. And then maybe you start to pedal the feet. Getting a little stretch in the back of the legs. Depending on your flexibility of your hamstrings and calves, you might keep the legs nice and bent in your downward dog. And don't worry, if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. Eventually, you can play around with straightening the legs, making a kind of a V shape with the body. But don't worry, if you got to bend the knees, bend the knees. It's more about finding the strength in your arms and in your wrists than it is about straightening the legs. And remember, yoga is a journey. So every day, something a little different. You know, you're going to meet yourself at your mat. Go ahead and start to walk the feet up to the hands. Bend the knees nice and deep and grab opposite elbows. And you can sway side to side here. The chest might even be resting on the thighs. And release the arms, bend the knees a little more, and roll up the spine. Pull in that belly button as you roll up. Shoulders and head come last. So once you are upright, you are now in Tadasana, or mountain pose. So notice the feet. They're usually, you can do what feels good for you. For me, my feet are hip distance apart. Some people like to bring the big toes together. That's just not comfortable for me. So do what feels good for you. Feel your fingers reach down towards the floor. Your quads are engaged and lifting up. Your glutes might even be a little bit engaged as your hips reach down towards the floor. And just like we did in our seated pose, imagine the crown of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling. So even though you might be thinking, I'm just standing, you're still doing a lot of work in this pose. Mountain pose is strong. Mountain pose is the basis of almost every yoga pose. We're looking for that alignment from our head, our shoulders, and our hips, all in one nice line. So notice if maybe you're kind of sticking the hips out behind you, try and tuck it in a little bit. If you're someone who maybe the hips come forward, you might need to send the hips back. And if you're not sure, maybe sometime try and take mountain pose in front of a mirror on the side and notice what the hips are doing. Are we going back, arching the low back? Or are you coming forward, sinking into the back? Try and find a nice even pose, all in line. When we find our alignment, we avoid injury. So we don't want any injury here. No getting hurt. Yoga is not painful. At least it shouldn't be. And as you inhale, start to lift the arms, bring the palms to touch, and reach over to the right. Come back through center and over to the left. And then back to center. Take field goal arms or cactus arms. Imagine you're pressing on the sides of a door and the chest is coming forward, getting a nice stretch in the collarbones, front of the chest. And then inhale up. Exhale, fold forward again, bend the knees. Roll up the spine. Inhale up with the arms, palms come to press, reach over to the right and over to the left. Come back to center, take that cactus arm, again bringing the chest forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale to heart center. So bringing your hands onto your hips, you're at the front of your mat. Go ahead and step back with the right foot coming into a lunge pose. So you're up on the ball of your right foot, bending into the left knee. If you need to bend that right leg a little bit, go ahead. It's more about finding length here in the spine, being tall out of the hips, than it is about straightening that back leg. Eventually, start to straighten that leg as much as you can. Hands can stay at the hips. Maybe they come out to a T, or maybe they lift up by your ears. If the arms are extended by the ears, circle the pinkies in just slightly towards each other. Find some openness in the shoulder blades. Still pulling in that belly button here for support. And then bring the hands back to your hips. Step forward with the right leg. Maybe shake it out a little bit. When you're ready, step back with that left foot. Your feet are kind of in two lanes of traffic here. So it shouldn't be one foot right in front of the other. 2 lanes helps with your balance. Again, if you need to bend the left leg, go for it. Or maybe start to straighten. Find length here. Out of the hips, lifting up nice and tall. Think of that mountain pose and take your arm variation. Maybe a little more bend in that right knee. Maybe not. You do you. If the arms are up by the ears, keep the shoulders away from the ears. No shoulders for earrings. Bring the hands to the hips and step it back forward. Maybe shake it out a little bit. So I'd like to come into one balance pose. Balance poses are excellent, obviously, for strengthening your balance and also engages the core, strengthens the legs. If you feel like your balance is a little unsteady today and you have a wall nearby, go ahead over to the wall, or maybe you've got a piece of furniture or something. You can bring the hands to the hips or heart center. Take the weight into your right foot. Take your left foot and just let it be a little kickstand at your ankle. If that feels like really secure and you'd like to try a little bit more, bring your left foot up onto your calf. Not on your knee, just on your calf. But if you want to stay with that little kickstand, stay there. And let that left knee go out to the side, finding a stretch in the inner thigh. Hands can stay at heart. Maybe you're holding a wall or a piece of furniture. You can bring the arms to a T if that feels better. Still pulling in that belly button. Engaging our core. Our core is what helps keep us upright. Nice and strong. If you're feeling really confident in your tree pose, start to extend your branches. But if you want to stay here at heart, go for it. Again, your practice. If you extend the arms, still pull in that belly button. And then bring hands to heart. Lower the foot down, maybe shake it out a little bit. And then when you're ready, bringing hands to heart, or maybe they're on the hips. Start to bring your right foot, maybe you stay here at the ankle, maybe you come up onto the calf, not the knee. I would do whatever you did on the other side because you want to be even. So now this time, the right knee is going out to the side. Find that stretch in the inner thigh as much as you can. It might be right here, and that's okay. Working it out. Remember, yoga is a journey. I don't know about you, but it took me a long time to be able to let go of, I had to master every pose. And that's okay. Eventually, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But right now, I just meet myself on the mat. It's different day by day. Just accept yourself for who and where you are. If you'd like, go ahead and extend those arms. Shoulders are nice and relaxed here. Pull in the belly button. Hands come back to heart. Go ahead and lower the right foot down. Maybe shake it out a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to just come right back down onto the mat. And the knees are going to be bent. You're going to roll down onto your back. And so the feet are about hip distance apart, even though you can't see them. They're right in line with your knees and with your hips. Arms are alongside the body. And go ahead and start to tilt the pelvis up as you lift the hips. And then roll right back down. So this is a great massage for the low back. Inhale, lift the hips up. Imagine someone's walking their fingers up and down your spine as you slowly lift and lower. If you notice your legs are really wobbling around as you lift and lower, try and really engage those thighs as you lift to keep them in line with the hips. And exhale, lower. Take 2 more of these. In case you're wondering, when you are fully lifted with the hips, you've come into bridge pose. And after your second one, you can lower it down. And then take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. So this might be enough for you right here. You might already be feeling a stretch in the outer glute. Maybe you start to reach behind your thigh, or maybe grab your shin. Just find where is accessible and start to pull the left leg towards you. Maybe you even press the right knee out. Now, if you find your hips are really tight, you might not pull it very far forward, and that's okay. Just find your stretch. I feel it right along here in my outer hip, outer glute, little outer thigh. The right foot is nice and flexed. That helps protect your knee. Nice, easy breaths, almost as if you're sending your breath into your hips, feeling them relax. Take a couple more breaths here. And then lower the legs down, uncross. You can just let the knees gently move side to side. And then when you're ready, come back to center, cross your left ankle over your right knee. Foot is nice and flexed. And again, maybe you stay right here. Maybe you reach behind the thigh or onto the shin, pulling the leg towards you. Maybe you even press the knee out to the side. So find your pose, your variation. A nice easy breath here. Notice, are you clenching your jaw or furrowing your brow? Try and let that go. In yoga, we try and find the ease in the pose, and not just the effort, but find the ease in it. You don't want to tense up one thing while you're stretching another. Two more breaths here. And then slowly lower down, uncross the legs, and then just let the knees move side to side. Oops. As I hit my bookcase with my knees. And then start to pull the knees towards your armpits. Maybe you grab the thighs here, bringing the knees a little wider than your chest. Or maybe you grab the outside edges of your feet, or maybe grab your big toes, whatever is accessible to you. You want the low back, really your whole back, nice and flat on the mat, coming to happy baby. This is my favorite pose. So wherever you're holding on, maybe you take some nice rocks side to side, a little massage for the low back. Might feel good to straighten one leg and then the other. Or maybe you just stay still, letting gravity do the work, pulling you towards the mat. It can feel really nice to feel supported that way. Take 2 more breaths in happy baby. And then pull the knees into your chest. You can either take a few rocks back and forth and come up to seated, or if you'd like, just roll to the side and lift yourself up, whichever is easier for you. Find yourself back in your easy pose. Take a few moments to kind of scan the body, see how you feel after that. And hopefully you have now seen that yoga is not scary and anybody can do it. There is a famous yogi who said, if you can breathe, you can do yoga, and we can all breathe. So hopefully this gives you a little more confidence to come back again and keep learning, keep growing, keep trying, and I'll be here for you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Namaste.